Welcome back to Vallnord in Andorra, where the men are about to get between the tapes. Bart is going to show us what an athlete uses, though, to fuel their body on race day.
Yeah, it starts with their breakfast, but after that, 3 hours before the race, riders have to eat again their race meal, say it like that. They have the opportunity for plain rice with boiled eggs.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Your team riders are lucky men and women. Look at that. That is literally it.
Yeah, that's literally it, what they eat before the race. But this is good for their body as well. I mean, it gives their energy, but it's also digests really quick and fast because they need to have that energy when the race starts.
Do they put any seasoning on it?
Sometimes I do a little bit of sauce above it.
You let them, Bart. And the egg, what's the egg for?
I mean, for the taste as well, some proteins in it as well. This is mostly carbohydrate, this is more proteins. It's a mix of that, what they need to have for the race.
I'm so envious.
Some of the riders, like the Italian, definitely they eat the pasta, not the rice, I'm sure.
Okay, right, well, we'll leave that delicious meal there. Then as the race begins, the water bottles come into play. They're not all the same, right?
No. Let's say like this. Isotonic bottle, energy, and this one is water.
Okay.
And it's a mix of energy what they take. The isotonic, it's to refill their liquid in their body as quick as possible. It absorbs much quicker than just water. The energy, that's what they need to perform well, especially at the end of the race.
So what is that, a sugar drink?
Yeah, sugar, yeah.
That's mine. That's the one I want.
This one tastes the best, mostly. This one is not that too, but this is the best. And the water, they take it almost every lap, even to cool down. They spray it a lot in their neck, on their legs, their arms, everywhere.
So not just for drinking?
No, not just for drinking, no. But don't spray this in your neck. That will stick everything together. And don't forget the gels. That's something what they eat in the second part of the race. It's fast sugar as well, and that gives you a lot of energy and a boost most of the time as well.
And why that over, say, a bar of chocolate or something?
Oh, to chew a bar in a race is really difficult. Yeah, you don't need to have your energy, the breathing for your performance and not eating a bar.
It's almost energy you haven't got at that point, huh?
Yeah, it's too difficult.
And tell me this then, Bart, in the evening they do get to go out for a big treat, right?
Most of the riders, they treat us.
They do? After a World Cup race?
Really nice meal, and they are worth to have it.
Okay, cool. Well, talking of treats, let's go racing. Kirschbaumer. And Kirschbaumer goes by Schurter. Going to be a game of cat and mouse now. Schurter now to the front. Nino Super Schurter is going to do it again. What a ride for Kirschbaumer, though. His best ever World Cup finish. Who will rise up and challenge the champ today? So, Bart, already the last race of the weekend. It's time for the men's cross country. We're enjoying a phenomenal season, I would say. I mean, Nino Schurter is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, after the race we have seen last week from him winning the race again, we have to respect him even more. He attacked already that second lap, and with 5 laps more to go, he made it till the finish line. The Italian guy, Gerard Kirschbaumer, he came back, but Nino had a weapon left.
I mean, Kirschbaumer was so impressive last week, the way he closed Schurter down throughout that whole race. Did his performance surprise you?
We knew we had a hometown race for the Italian riders, so we expect many of them in front of the race. Gerard Kirschbaumer was one of them, but as a young rider he already performed really well, and he's in a good shape.
And, you know, like we say, we're up at altitude this weekend. It's going to be a lot harder. Is it Kirschbaumer that's going to be there, or is it going to be someone else this will suit more?
Definitely he's one of the favorites, but on a course like this, there are more who can perform really well. But the young guys are coming, and it seems to be Nino is under pressure.
Well, one thing is for sure, racing up here will leave you breathless.
Vallnord Andorra is the only high-altitude race of the season. Competing here means a dramatic increase in effort for the athletes' bodies.
You might feel great for 5 minutes, but then the altitude really kicks in and then you suffer and you feel like you can hardly turn the pedals. And I had that issue last year, and I hope I don't have that issue again.
Less oxygen in the air at the higher altitude means that hydration is more important than ever, and that they have to breathe a lot more heavily to allow them to reach their maximum power.
Some of us, like myself, if I'm not used to, I just go out of breath, you know, pretty easily. So point number one, you go flat out with the group, then you feel like, you can't breathe, you know. So it's just like personal, really.
Physiological long-range adaptations start to appear after 5 days. Arriving early to this event can definitely be a decisive factor for a good result come race day.
Yeah, here's a massive factor. It's actually quite high here at 1900 plus meters, so it definitely plays a big part. And I think as you'll see on Sunday and even Friday with the short track, it makes it very difficult.
Well, it's always tough up here, no doubt about that. I mean, you've obviously raced at altitude, but what are the challenges? What can happen during a race?
Yeah, it's really hard to say what's going on in your body on this high elevation. And some of the riders, they perform really well in altitude, or they always do. And some of them are always struggling with it. With a good preparation, what some of the riders have been done, it's really necessary for a good performance. And there's not that much time always, but the weeks before Vallnord, definitely they have been on altitude. And that's just for this race.
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's see how Enrique Avancini goes up. But that'll be interesting because last week he actually put himself in the history books for Brazil, the first man ever to get on a cross-country World Cup podium.
Yeah, the mountain bike sport is really popular at the moment in Brazil, and it's good to see a Brazilian rider performing so well. Avancini, what a race he had last week in Vallnord.
Here's a bit more then on one fast Brazilian.
Henrique Avancini. Last year in Andorra, he secured his first ever top 10 result.
Needed to adjust here and there some really small things, and once I did, the top 10 was easy, just happened.
Last week in Vallnord, he stepped it up with his first top 5.
It was my first step, the first time that I stepped on a World Cup podium, so I was pretty stoked after the race.
Key to his success are his fast starts.
I mean, most of the times we go flat out at the beginning, so we go straight into the hurt box, and once you realize that you have a lot of lactate on the legs, you still need to go for maybe 1 hour 20, 1 hour 30.
Avancini, we see him as a fast starter.
But in the course of the race, he had to give up some positions.
You just need to be really strong mentally, because sometimes the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes are quite easy to me. But once the guys overtake you, you need to find a good balance mentally.
He proved that he's mentally strong enough to establish himself at the very top. But the high altitude in Andorra adds another obstacle.
As a mountain biker, you need to learn to go deep into the pain cave, and the altitude gives a bit different spice on that.
He performed well here last year, and he is definitely on the rise.
I still believe that I can do even bigger things during this season, a bit more than just a podium. I still feel fresh for the season. This is the best for a professional rider. I'm still enjoying every pedal stroke, every race, every training session, and I'm really enjoying my life on the bike. This is the best.
Well, I can tell you now, Bart, I have no desire to visit the pain cave. Although I guess you spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, it hurts a lot if you have to ride here, and the climbs are really hard, the conditions are very hard, and riders, they have to deal with that.
Well, Avancini there, an amazing ride in last Sunday's cross-country race, probably helped by the fact that he had a front row start. Now, front row starts are decided by the new short track discipline we have at the weekend, and here in Andorra, Avancini went even better.
With 2 short track wins in 3 races, Mathieu van der Poel came into Vallnord with the bullseye on his back. Curiously, World Cup overall leader Nino Schurter was still waiting for his very first short track win, something that he wanted to change in Andorra.
Have to see how the race is going. I'm sure it's not going to be that hard racing from the beginning. I think everybody's trying to save a bit for Sunday.
Quite to the contrary, as the man proved once more that a frantic start leads to an even more frantic race pace. After recording the first ever cross-country elite podium for a Brazilian rider on Sunday, Henrique Avancini used his momentum and attacked on lap 2.
I've been struggling a little bit with the format so far. I always had really strong legs, but I was always getting lost in the middle of the race.
This time, however, Avancini countered all attacks and stayed in the lead group. On the penultimate lap, just like in Val di Sole a week ago, Mathieu van der Poel tried to punish his competitors on the race's only real climb. But this time, it turned out differently.
It was the legs were fine, but it was the breathing there was a little bit difficult. It's something different here in altitude.
Henrique Avancini became the first Brazilian to win a race on a cross-country bike, writing national sports history for a second consecutive week.
We delivered the plan and worked it out, so I'm really happy. And yeah, this win goes to Brazil. Really special moment to me.
Mathieu van der Poel came in second. Val di Sole cross-country runner-up Gerhard Kerschbaumer confirmed his good form with a third place in Vallnord short track.
The race was really good. I am in good shape and I hope I can also strong on Sunday.
7 men finished within 4 seconds of each other. Sam Gaze rounded out the top 8 and therefore Sunday's cross-country race front row.
I love the emotion of Avancini taking that win. Incredible stuff. Well, it doesn't only sort out the start positions, it also carries points, half the points of today's cross-country race. Let's have a look then at the World Cup standing with the short tracks points added from Friday.
Yeah, Nino Schurter here has a huge gap to the second place. Mathieu van der Poel, Avancini on the 4th place right now. He might be surprised us again. He had a lot of confidence after that podium from last week and a win from last Friday.
No doubt, Bart, there is a lot to fight for. Here's today's battlefield.
It's time for some high-altitude racing. The cross-country course in Andorra measures 3.8 kilometers and has a vertical climb of 206 meters. With the start being on 1,901 meter, it is the highest race of the season. So air will be thin. A new start area is followed by a newly added climb. Pyrenees area, an uphill with 17% gradient. It's easy to lose traction, but an ideal place to overtake. GoPro Hill, a rocky uphill and downhill section where riders need to find the right line to carry speed and keep the flow. Mercedes-Benz area. This climb stands like a wall in front of the rider. The longest climb tests a rider's power and fitness. Feed zone. Refueling the body is essential. Don't miss a bottle, as this can affect things dramatically. La Massana, the forest. Flowy and fast single-track downhill to recover a bit, followed by a technical uphill. Andorra Telecom Corner. 3 switchback climbs where the right line can decide who goes first into the last few hundred meters.
But high temperatures, high altitude, a technical track, lots of climbing. Who's going to deal with it best?
Yeah, very hard conditions for the riders. And I think the most experienced rider, Nino Schurter, he's going to take the win again.
That is the safest bet you could have. Yeah. Well, we need to go racing here in Andorra. Round 5, Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross Country World Cup. Commentary in English, German and Portuguese. We'll see you right after this.
My father was shot down in the Vietnam War, and ever since his remains were identified, I've been planning an expedition to search for the place where his plane went down and to discover the circumstances surrounding his death.
Ultra-endurance mountain biker Rebecca Rush on the trail of her father's fate.
No way.
Blood Road, now available on Red Bull TV.
The Principality of Andorra is a landlocked microstate nestled high in the Pyrenees mountains between France and Spain, with its capital Andorra la Vella being the highest in Europe. There's a lot of tax-free shopping here with over 300 days of sunshine a year as well. It's a perfect spot for some mountain biking. Vallnord Bike Park has over 40 kilometres of downhill cross-country and enduro trails, meaning there is something for everyone. So, the men's race about to get going. They're going to be called up to the line very shortly. Manuel Fumic, the German rider.
Teammate from Avancini, who won the short track last Friday. Cannondale team.
Stunning day for it. The temperature seems to have cooled a little bit out there, but there's a breeze coming through now, which has definitely took the edge off things.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of wind, but helped the riders a little bit to cool down.
Not as much as an ice vest, though, as worn there by Sam Gaze. Just 22 years old. The only man, actually, all season last year and this year, he's the only man to beat Nino Schurter. Took the first win of XCO World Cup in Stellenbosch at the start of the season. Maxime Marot, 4th place in the Olympic Games in 2016, one of the sport's big dogs.
Rider 30 from Italy with a 14.11 for Santo Sportivo,
Tituan Karod, two-time and under 23 overall World Cup winner. Another youngster at 24 years old. Luca Brado, 27 years old, Italian. Had a bad day at the last round in Val di Sole. Umbrellas up to keep these riders out of the sun as much as they can. Well, you'd have to say this is the man that, of course, they all have to beat. The #1 rider in the world. Undisputable, Nino Schurter. Gerhard Kaschbaumer. What a ride we saw from him last week. Pushed Schurter right until the closing stage of that race. The former world cyclocross champion, Mathieu van der Poel, 3rd in Val di Sole last week. Not really sure how he'll go up here at altitude. Is that fair to say, Bart?
Yeah, it's fair to say. With the experience that we had from the last couple of years, he didn't do so well over here. He didn't win that short track. I mean, still 2nd, but with the strength he has, could win it normally.
Well, there is the man that won that short track race on Friday. Featured him heavily in our pre-show. Henrique Avancini, then, from Brazil. Don't rule him out today. Pushing for the win over the longer distance. Tempier, the #9 plate, a little way back today, as is Anton Cooper, 6th in this year's World Cup at the moment. And our man down at the finish area, Rick, spoke to Avancini before the start.
Henrik, after that great win on Friday night at the short track, how are you feeling before this one?
Feeling amazing. We go again today. Let's see what brings. Weather is really nice at the moment. It's really crowded, so I'm looking forward. It's going to be a nice show.
8 laps should be a tough race. Does that suit you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we do a lot of stage racing, and I use it to work with a really high volume of training, so 8 laps might be an advantage to me.
Henrik, thanks very much. Good luck today.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
An advantage to him. Let's see.
Yeah, Henrique Avancini, he won several times the Brazil Ride, a stage race, probably the most popular stage race in Brazil. So he has the endurance, 8 laps.
Well, it does sound like he's up for it then. Big, tough race ahead of these riders. 2 laps more than the women they're going to do. It is a straight 8 laps here, high in the Pyrenees. Away they go, that's Sam Gaze, closest to us.
It's Van der Poel who takes the lead. It's Tito Ekerot, a young guy as well from France.
Oh, the dust, pretty severe for the riders at the back of the field.
Yeah, it goes immediately up the mountain.
Just to make a hard race harder, but no warm-up.
Yeah, they did a good warm-up on the roller, of course. They stay as long as possible to keep warm, to keep the muscles warm, and they are ready for a hard day.
So, Cadot leading at the moment.
Tito Ekerot.
Guy's there in third, Schurter on his wheel, Kirschbaumer goes through. But the pace up that first climb was unbelievable.
Yeah, and you see a lot of new names after that short track from Friday, which decided the start order for the first 2 rows in that cross-country race. Yeah, a different kind of racing these days. With Tito Ekerot in the front, Van der Poel, Gaze. So, Nino Schurter with the number 1 number plate.
Look at that.
Kirschbaumer's coming.
The number 2 in there as well, the man second in this year's World Cup, Mathieu van der Poel.
Avancini a bit further down, around 7-8 position.
Coming up, moving up fast, closest to us, Avancini there with the green short sleeves on his top. Look at the people up here as well, but I mean, I could barely get to the press room to get some lunch today.
Anton Cooper finished second earlier this year in that sprint finish in Novo Mesto with Nino Schurter. What can he do today?
Incredible, the number of fans that have got up to the top of the mountain.
The national champion from the US, Howard Grotz. A very strong climber too. I expect a lot of him in today's race.
Do you?
Even with that bad start order what he had, but he wasn't around 20th position.
Schurter goes to the front.
Avancini on 4. Van der Poel a bit further down, 6th or 7th position.
The rider's pouring.
Jan Vogel, the European champion. He had a strong ride last week too in Val di Sole, where he finished 5th.
So the 100 riders on the start line, pouring through this forest. The pace fast at the front. Schurter leads, there's Kirschbaumer. Avancini. There goes in the red and white, Mathieu van der Poel. Sam Gay's right with him. In the red, Sam Gaze, the specialised driver.
Valero, a good start of him, the number 21.
Gaze's teammate, the former Olympic champion, Yaroslav Kulhavy, not starting today with some health issues, so hopefully he can recover and we'll see him back in action at the next one in Mont-Saint-Anne in a month's time.
But it's Nino Schurter who is pushing hard immediately after that start. From here on, it's a long descent, technical descent. It's becoming pretty rough because of the dry conditions right now. You see the dust. Kirschbaumer, here he is, the national champion from Italy.
6 seconds back, nothing at the moment then, of course, on this opening lap. Sarou up there in 6th as well, that's good for him, a French rider. Forster, 10th for him, Luca Bordeaux in 11th. And 12th apparently.
The Spanish rider from Valero, he finished 6th last week in Val di Sole, had a very strong last lap, but already a good start today. Nino going fast in that off-camera descent, where they enter that long, steep climb, the wall. Here they are.
And is this the biggest climb on the track? There's already a gap opening up to these two. Schurter not messing around on lap 1 at all. Look how hard he's going. This is usual for Nino, but maybe trying a different tactic this week. Riders have been getting closer to him.
He already did it last week where he attacked that second lap. We were surprised a bit about that, but he does the same right now. But he opens the gap in that descent, in that long descent, the technical one. It's Tito Ekerot who is with him at the moment, but here Kirschbaumer is struggling with that speed. This will suit him.
The altitude, of course, playing a part, but that full suspension bike there, you can see of Kirschbaumer's fully locked out. The front and the back won't move when they're on the climbs particularly.
A very colourful bike, all colours in it. Avancini, he's leading that chasing group, but it looks like he's not that strong today. Where's Nino Schurter? Is he already gone?
So the numbers
first lap. Titra Carrot from France.
Good to see him up there, Bart, at the moment.
He's a strong rider. He won the man under 23 categories 2 times.
Yeah, the overall World Cup winner in 15 and 16 for the under-23s. Started his year well as well with a podium at round 1 in South Africa. Hasn't matched it since, though.
This man is on a mission.
He definitely is.
Back on his old bike. Last week, a retro bike. Of course, it's a new bike too, but he has his normal colors back. Scott, full suspension.
And a fair gap already, but Nino very often will get a little gap like this and back it off, let the others come back to him, it does seem.
Yeah, but also see the gap behind Nino, around the 8-9 position right here. They are opening already the gaps between the riders as well. A few Italians over here, the Braidos, the 2 brothers together. Luca and Daniele in the blue. But what a start of Nino Schurter today. Not waiting for anybody.
Definitely isn't, no. Charging hard, looking for that 30th World Cup win. We just saw Gunri Adala do that exact thing in the women's category in what was an incredible performance. Van der Poel goes through in the red and white.
It's important for the riders to settle into this race immediately. I mean, if they're blowing up in these first few laps, they will pay the price for that. It's a long race, 8 laps, but the riders, the men's category, they go really fast.
Yeah.
But I think it will be a bit more than 1.5 hours.
You do, yeah.
Might be like that. We will see after 1 lap. 8 laps to do.
8 tough laps, that's for sure. Number 11 goes through of Jordan Saru.
Sam Gaze here in the red.
Good start for Gaze.
Valero,
yeah. Very dry up here now. A lot of rain earlier in the week, but hasn't rained for a few days in the ground. Already starting to get dry and break up. Kirschbaumer, the sensation really of last week's race. Put there in second, third at the moment.
Sam Gaze, the last rider of this group. Valero, the strong Spanish rider.
Yeah, Valero, he is.
Probably a lot of fans on the side of this course for him.
Almost a home race really for the Spanish.
It is.
We're only a couple of hours from the French border here and a couple of hours really from the Spanish border, so.
Yeah, Andorra, it's a small state in the middle of these huge mountains.
Yep, beautiful place. And a lot of people have come up here to watch this race this afternoon. So Schurter pressing on.
It's a very natural course, this one here in Andorra. It's still a technical one, especially because of the conditions, the dry conditions. It makes the course even more rough. Sharp hairpins over here. No problems for these riders.
As long as you've got the power in your legs to get around them. 5 seconds the gap then. Back to Kirschbaumer. Haven't seen Ian there in 4th place. Good riding at the moment from the Brazilian. Brado, 10th. Maxime Marot back in 13th. He'll want to move forwards from that. And the gap has come back together. This is exactly what we saw last week.
Yeah.
It happened a lot earlier in the race.
With 1 lap to go in Italy, we saw the same. Kirschbaumer together with Nino Schurter.
Manuel Fumic back in 30th. Andre Sink. He's a rider that's gone well up here in the past. Actually, the bronze medalist at the World Championships in 2015. Did have a spell on the road, though, Bart, between then and now. And he's I would say it's fair to say, hasn't really found his feet again on the mountain bike yet.
No, it's true. It takes a bit of time to come back on that highest level. He did pretty well some of the races, but not as we have seen before. But before he left to the road, Gerard Kersbaumer leading. Nino Schurter behind him. Avancini, can he come back to these two leaders? Small gap to that chasing group, and he uses serious business right now. He has to go with them, with these two leaders. This is the moment. A fast start of Nino Schurter in this first lap.
I'm impressed with Kersbaumer. He's not scared of Nino, is he?
Not at all, no. He's in a good shape, that's for sure. Did a good race in Italy, of course, hometown race, but also here on altitude.
So Sam Gay's in the red there, taking some water over his shoulders as well. Florian Vogel comes into view at the back there in the white and blue European champion top. So lap 1 is complete. 10 minutes 58 the lap time.
If they can continue on with this, 11 minutes 88. A bit less than 1.5 hours.
Yeah, we shall see. The lap times may drop a little bit after that frantic first lap. They usually do, right?
It is, yeah. But on the other hand, sometimes they are even able to go fast as well if it comes to the last few laps in the race. So 1.5 hour race for these.
There's the man fourth in this year's World Cup at the moment. Florian Vogel, chased by the number 3 of Maxime Marot, who was having a good long look over there at the leaders, but I mean, you know, 36 seconds back at the end of lap 1. Maxime Marot's wouldn't want to be that far back, would he?
No, it's true.
Anton Cooper, the number 6, coming through there in the white and black.
Martins Blums from Latvia, number 45.
Matthias Fluckinger, number 13.
Not his best start in this race. Normally he's more to the front.
And there's Manuel Fumic.
Followed by Grant Ferguson from the UK, the national champ from the UK.
Now on to lap 2 they go. Kersbaumer. Lovely light style on the pedals, you have to say.
Strong rider.
Just 27 years old, Gerhard Kersbaumer. 2 times the under-23 world champion. And enjoying his best elite season yet, Bart, that is for sure.
It's for sure, with that second place from last week. He finished 3rd last year once in Monsenden.
That's right. Where we go next. So some good races for Kersbaumer, if he can continue this form.
And many spectators here besides the course.
Oh, it's deep with spectators the sides of the course. Incredible.
Yeah, it's good to see that.
Well, already these two pulling away from the rest of the pack.
A small gap in between these two. I mean, does it mean anything? Normally Nino is more closely to the rear wheel of his front rider, but
again though, on lap 1.
It might be a sign.
On lap 1 though, again, you know, it looked like Schurter could have, he'd wanted to, have just ridden away from him. He had such a gap. It's
looks like, but Kersbaumer settled into this race. Out of the saddle, pushing hard. Nino, what can he do? Can he go with him?
Well, Kersbaumer, remember, was faster for that whole race really last week. He slowly chipped away and got back onto the wheel of Nino Schurter. Perhaps
but this is a small gap.
It is. Look at that. And perhaps he was exhausted by the time he'd caught him up. This time maybe he's saying, I'm just going to do my own
confidence what he got from last week.
That's right. I'm going to do it from the front this week, if I can.
Impressive.
You don't often see this.
Nope. Schurter.
Very few ride away from Nino Schurter, that's for sure.
He had a fair start. Gerard Kersbaumer came back pretty quick. But almost together again. Nino, of course, he's a very fast descender.
That he is, yep.
Good skills.
And they're quite technical, a lot of these descents. Mathieu van der Poel, along this long rocky ridge at the top of the before they start to drop down towards the biggest climb on the track.
Yeah, this is a beautiful section actually for a rider to do.
Avancini fourth. Saru there in third. So Saru and Avancini, not much between them. Van der Poel goes through in fifth, just ahead of Sam Gaze.
Braido, Daniele or Luca. I don't recognize these two brothers. Nino back on the wheel. He's a fast descender. He's a bit faster than Gerard Kerschbaumer.
It looked it there, didn't it?
So Gerard Kerschbaumer, he has to push it hard on these climbs to get away of Nino Schurter. Can he do it? Out of the saddle, both.
It's well, to me, a horrifying looking climb. You get to the bottom of it, and it's so steep and so exposed up here.
But even for these two riders, it's...
I mean, you look at the spectators in the background and how they're stood, that gives you a real indication of just how steep it is.
It's a ski slope. It's not a black one, but still maybe it's black. No, it's the red, I think, but it's steep.
Yeah, it is very steep. Well, these two back together at the front. 2,000 meters above sea level. That's why there's still some snow around on the tops of these mountains. Van der Poel goes out of shot. Sam Gaze right there.
Valero, this last rider of this chasing group, with Sam Gaze in front of it.
Litcher ahead of him. And Litcher with a little attack, it looked like. Excuse me, Valero with a little attack. Plenty of encouragement from the sidelines.
Valero with Braido, Luca Braido, the Italian rider. And Thomas Litcher in this group too, Sam Gaze. The red. Valero, he finished 6th last week with one of the fastest lap times at the end. So strong at the finish always.
So bottom right picture, the leaders coming down through the S-bends. Comes the riders trying to get that gap down. And now Schurter back to the front and setting the pace once again.
It looks like some of the part of the course Nino suits really well, but definitely these climbs immediately after that start-finish line suits Gerard Kerschbaumer really well, where he ran away earlier this race. Van der Poel is coming back.
Mathieu Van der Poel, definitely less experienced with racing altitude, is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's fair to say. I mean, his races, what he normally does in winter time, that's
below sea level.
Below sea level, in muddy, rainy and cold conditions. It's something else as the mountain biker sometimes has to do here in the hot and the high elevation. But he did already 2 times what I knew this race here in Andorra. He quit the race last year. But he said he wouldn't go that fast in the beginning of the race.
Did he? He's going to
after the experience from that short track from last Friday. And it looks like he's feeling pretty well at the moment.
Definitely looking good. Still only 23 years old, Mathieu Van der Poel.
Saru is leading this group.
Listen to the encouragement these riders are getting as they come through the trees. An incredible atmosphere here in La Massana.
Jordan Saru.
What is the gap then back to this small pack of riders? 22 seconds then between Kerschbaumer and Saru.
Henrik Avancini on 4th and Mathieu Van der Poel 5th.
22 seconds, Bart. Not a huge gap.
No, not at all. It's true, especially if you know if you're going too fast in the beginning of the race, you will pay for that. after a couple of laps. Like now, Nino is pushing it really hard again. Not waiting for the chasing group to come back.
No. He's got enough on his hands dealing with the Italian in his slipstream at the moment.
And Saru is leading. Avancini, Mathieu van der Poel. Also for Jordan Saru, close to the French border. A lot of fans here for him too.
You hear the gears crunching away there as they fight to go around that hairpin. There's the 21, David Valero.
Followed by Luca Braido.
Spanish national champion, actually, Valero.
Thomas Lietzer, strong ride from Switzerland for him too at the moment.
Here's the 1 and 2 from last weekend in Val d'Isole. That's how they finished. Long way to go yet in this race. Will it be the same? Kirschberger now has a go at the front. Almost looked like Nino just moved over and let him by.
Yeah, he tries and saves some energy for the rest of the race. I mean, it's a long race, 8 laps, and this is not a real difficult, steep or technical part of the course, so you can have a bit of advantage if somebody is riding in front of you.
Especially with the wind that's picked up out there. It's quite a breeze, actually. That's the gap in real time for you to see.
Yeah, but also in this chasing group, we knew Van der Poel, he finished 3rd last week. He's in a good shape. Avancini 4th last week. Strong as well, won that short track on Friday.
And Valero was good last week, actually, coming in with a 6th place finish. So the Spanish man on form as well. Here they come. Like a freight train through the forest. Van der Poel's got to be happy with his series so far, though. 2nd overall in points.
Yeah, he's doing really well. I think he's aiming for a win.
Oh, yeah. Still hasn't won a mountain bike World Cup. Won plenty of other World Cups, just not one with the fat tyre variety.
In cyclocross, he almost won everything last winter, almost every weekend. It seems to me he's looking good right now, leading this group, pushing hard. After a couple of laps, he knew how it feels to ride on altitude.
That gap,
30 seconds.
Has got a little bit bigger between that leading duo and Mathieu van der Poel. Avancini there goes across the line in 4th. Van der Poel 29 seconds back. Wouldn't he love to win his first XCO, his first cross-country World Cup race? It's been a while since a Dutchman did it. The one sat next to me was the last man back in 1996.
No, not.
Is that right?
2006.
2006, sorry, Bart. Oh my goodness, what have I said?
How many World Cups did I win? Do you know that?
I don't know. How many was it?
Even not that much. 4, only 4.
Was it 4?
2006.
Well, I've offended Bart. I'll make up to him in this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This break saved my life.
Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now. They paved the way for a new generation of mountain biking. See what happens when the world's best downhillers, freeriders, and slopestylers ride together on some of the best trails on the planet. They keep it real and show their passion for riding. Follow Me, now available on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back then, some drama in the pits. Manuel Fumic seems to be having, it looks like gear shift problems to us, but
the Di2 Shimano, I think, something wrong with that. It's hard to say if it's Di2 actually.
If they're going to fit another derailleur, you've got to think
Di2 system. You can see the display on his handlebar.
Could have knocked that old derailleur or something on a rock.
Yeah,
but it's not good when they have to start changing rear derailleurs. The chain's got to be broken. This is going to take far, far too long, actually. Real shame for the German today, then. So here's our leader.
And again, a small gap in between these two, Gerhard Kerschbaumer and Nino Schurter. The same as the previous lap. This part, it's a hard one for Nino Schurter.
Yeah?
Oh, he's playing a game with the Italian rider.
That also is quite possible.
He's pretty fast in the descent, Nino, so he can come back pretty easily. How he did it last lap, the previous lap. So no stress for him at all. Stretching his legs over here. Trying to recover from that high intensity. These difficult climbs over here.
He does look very content there, just to let Kerschbaumer pull out a few more bike lengths on him. No stress for him.
He knew he's much faster over here, so he will come back pretty quick. There he is. So it's going to be a nice battle in between these two in this race. Luca Braido, the other Italian rider. Valero. This is the chasing group with Van der Poel, Sarou here from France, and Henrik Avancini from Brazil.
Do you predict this chasing group will catch those fronts, or is that a gap that they're going to want to keep now?
We have to check the split times. That's very interesting.
It was getting bigger.
38, yeah, it's 39. Yeah, it's getting bigger. They're losing terrain. These two are very fast.
7 seconds they pulled out of the riders trying to catch him between the start-finish line and that first split.
But I mean, it's still possible. I mean, that early in the race, of course, it's a huge gap already, but it's a hard race as well.
On lap 3 already, round 5 at the Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross-Country World Cup from here in Vallnord, Andorra. That's the Olympic champion there, Nino Schurter, in second place, right on the wheel of Gerhard Kerschbaumer, the Italian, who surprised everyone with that second place finish last weekend in Italy, actually, at the World Cup race there.
Yeah, actually almost the whole race, both riders had to do it by themselves. Nino was pushing it really hard in the front. Kerschbaumer was chasing him. He came back.
It looks like they're going to, they're going to retire this one. Well, when you've lost that much time, gutted, Manuel Fumic. Shame for him.
Yeah, it's a shame for Manuel Fumic. He knew he's in a good shape.
So Van der Poel cresting the longest climb on the track. Henrik Avancini going with him.
Sarou is struggling with that high speed of Van der Poel here.
He does look to be going backwards a little bit now. This might be a good move by Van der Poel, though, to ride himself into this race.
You're right with it, yeah.
To find his way.
That's how he has to do it. Be careful with that high altitude, the lack of oxygen over here. Start slowly, but going faster to the end of the race. And that's how he does it at the moment. Third position for Van der Poel right now.
Third place, yep.
39 seconds, the previous split time.
And Van der Poel second in Friday's short track race. The man behind him, Avancini, won it. I wonder if they're paying the price for that effort on Friday, Bart.
It costs a lot of energy for these riders. They're getting more used to it to get that rhythm as well for that Friday, but also how to recover from that high intensity race. What they have to do all the time. I mean, Avancini, he won that race, but Van der Poel, if you've seen his face after the finish, it was a really hard and short race what he did.
Yeah, I was actually a little bit worried for him for a minute there. He was looking like he was struggling to get his heart rate back down after that effort.
Yeah, that's how it is. Nino, he said he took it a bit easier to try and save some energy for this race. Looks like it will work for him.
No doubt. Schurter has more interest in winning these Sunday races, I believe, don't you, Bart? Than the short track, it seems.
That's for sure, but so far he hasn't won a short track race, so maybe that's another motivation for him for the next one.
It'll probably come sometime in 2018. He's a man who likes winning and is very, very good at it.
Very competitive rider. Brazilian fans here on the side.
Yes.
They're coming from far for Avancini.
Well, after the football, at least they got something to cheer about today.
A new hero is born. A new hero is born.
Yes, absolutely, Avancini. And he's rocketed really to the front of the World Cup pack, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he's actually second in the UCI world standing. I mean, not the World Cup, but the overall standing.
The UCI world ranking, which takes in all the UCI sanctioned events, not obviously just the World Cup.
Yeah,
is that because he goes to the Southern Hemisphere though and then enjoys his summer, so there's more races for him?
Yeah, it means he's doing a lot of races anyway, and he's doing pretty well in these races too. So it's not only the World Cup where we will see him racing, but yeah, he's earning some points in several races the whole season long.
So Schurter leads from Chur in Switzerland, just down the road from actually where the World Championships are going to be this year. That's going to be the biggest race for Schurter this season, you'd have to say.
Yeah, that's not that far away anymore.
No, it's really coming around fast.
Next round, Montserrat in Canada. Most of the riders actually, they have their national championships next week. After that, for the European riders, European championships in Glasgow. But a few days later already the World Cup again in Montserrat. So 2 weeks later, La Bresse. And another 2 weeks later, the World Championships in Switzerland. Which is, of course, probably which suits Van der Poel really well, I guess.
Yeah.
It's, one big climb, not too hard. After that, very technical sections with a lot of roots, slippery parts in it, and also in September. The weather conditions might be more rainy, cooler.
Yeah.
But also that race, it's 1,500 meters above sea level.
It is not as high as this one then, but still would you class that as a race at altitude?
Yeah, more like. Yeah, it is.
The riders will notice the shortage.
They have to prepare for it.
They do, yeah. So, Van der Poel.
He's pushing hard. So struggling with that high pace.
He's really fighting to get back on the back wheel though. Of Avancini there, looking down at his gears as they crunch away beneath him. Hard men, Bart. 33 minutes passes.
Riders taking their drinks, some energy.
Is it more important to stay hydrated up here at altitude? I mean,
yeah,
in the short space of an hour and a half in this race?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a short race, especially in the conditions right now. It's very sunny, it's dry, you can see there's a lot of dust as well, and yeah, riders, they have to stay hydrated. And most of the time there's also a lot of energy into these drinks as well, so it's not only the fluids what they have to take, but it's the energy too.
On to lap 4 they go then. And it's Kirschbaumer back at the front.
He's doing a lot of work, Kirschbaumer. Not afraid for Nino Schurter. Nino just following.
Kirschbaumer actually had a podium here back in 2013 with a 5th place.
And he looks very strong to me in these climbs. Out of the saddle for a long time. Nino back in the saddle. And this is the new climb of the course.
So they add another extra climb in the course compared to the course from last year. Chasing group.
45 seconds now the gap, yep.
It's getting bigger.
It really is. I guess I haven't seen, excuse me, I imagine Kirschbaumer's not scared though, Bart, because last week, you know, he did all the work from the back to the front. I mean, so he knows that he can go the full race length at this pace, I would think.
Yeah, and he must feeling good, and he's in a good shape. He's probably the best climber at the moment, and that's maybe the part of this race where he can get away. I mean, in the descents, Nino is very strong. Maxime Marot together with Florian Vogel. Another Cannondale rider, Maxime Marot.
Well, let's go down to one of his teammates or his team manager and find out what happened to Manuel Fumic. Rick's in the pits.
Daniel, we've just seen Manny pull out of this one. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Andorra is not his best place to perform well. And he had a technical last year. He broke the chain at the start line. Today he had problems with the gears. We couldn't fix it, and it didn't make sense to then start the race in the position he was in. So yeah, we just decided to pull out and reset. And then next weekend is German Nationals. So I think we're going to go super fresh there. And yeah, that's the story. Unfortunate, but this is what it is. It's bike racing.
Daniel, thank you very much. And we hope to see him back soon in Canada.
No worries. Thank you.
Bike racing it is indeed. Plenty of things can go wrong.
Especially these days, yeah, the material has to be perfect. Mechanics, they spend a lot of time to prepare the bikes. It's not only the tires, it's the shifting, the suspension, everything.
What sort of work do the mechanics do on a bike during a week?
Almost everything. Yeah, I mean, the gears has to be shifted in the perfect way. The tire pressure, they test out different tires, different pressures.
On the actual lap of the course where they are, they really adjust the bikes to it.
Kirschbaumer went away from Nino again.
Look at that.
And this is even more.
Wow, incredible from Kirschbaumer. You just said he's the strongest climber. You weren't wrong. Looking at this, wow.
What can Nino do in that fast, long technical descent?
It's very, usually it's doing this to everyone else. Today, someone is doing it to him. The Olympic champion will respond though.
This is definitely a sign that that is not his best day, or Gerard Kirschbaumer is just better today than he is. Yeah, well, we said the bikes has to be in a perfect conditions, and actually the mechanics, they do everything on a bike to prepare it in the best way. And that sometimes takes a lot of time. It also depends, of course. See how quick Nino he is in this section. He's coming back again. Just 5 seconds.
Wow, look at that.
He knew exactly what he can give away in that climb.
That might be talent, but by the end, I mean, he can relax on that climb a little bit more than Kirschbaumer really knows that he can, with ease, it looks like, bring that gap back down on that.
He will come back
technical descent. And wrong group here. This is the chasing pack. Avancini to the front of it now. Van der Poel right there with him.
So that was 3, 4, and 5 in the race. So this is the podium. Yeah, I'm wondering if Nino's back on the wheel of Kirschbaumer again after that descent, but it looks like that. And then that big climb starts again. 1 minute.
A minute now. Wow.
There they are.
Taru is a man that goes well at altitude. Third here last year he was, actually. And we'll go back to our leaders on this long, long climb. 4th time up it. 4 more times they've got to face it after this. And those two have actually put 14 seconds into these 3 riders now.
That's a lot from start finish to that first split time.
Well, this lot are not hanging about. I guess it just shows us the pace of those two at the front. They're racing at the front, Mark.
I think Kirschbaumer is doing most of the work in the climbs, pushing it really hard. Nino, he is coming back all the time in the technical descents. We have to see how long it will
And Nino
Be like that.
Nino is the only past winner in Andorra riding today. The other two riders that have won here, Christoph Sauser and Julian Absalon, of course, have now retired. And look at them on this climb. Again, they go. The pace up there is extraordinary.
It is. Avancini. Saru. A good ride for Saru. His best ride so far this year in the World Cup.
Yeah, he's had one. He had a good ride in Albstadt earlier in the year, but matching that at the moment. Took his best. That was actually that third place he had here last year. Was his best ever World Cup finish. That'll give him some confidence, Bart.
Yeah, it is. If you come back to a place where you had a good result already in the previous years, it helps a lot and it gives you a lot of confidence. You're looking forward to that race, more motivated as ever, and he showed it again. Nino Schurter with Kerschbaumer leading this race. Beautiful shot over there from the venue.
And those two leaders are they're going to be out of sight for these riders now, but they're going to be long gone into the trees before this lot come round. Out of sight, out of mind might play a part as well. Valero,
the Spanish rider.
Tall fella, look how much seat post he's got showing on that bike.
Yes, he's a strong and big guy. It's blood. Is it Sink or not? Behind Florian Vogel.
So Andre Sink doing well there. Look at that. The man who went to the road, but he's done well up here in the past. But
hey, he reached the podium several times here.
Bronze medalist at the World Championships in 2015, Andre Sink.
So far this year, his best World Cup race. Sam Gaze. Manuel of Matthias Flickiger with Sergio Montecon. This is Sam Gaze. Matthias Flickiger behind him. Sergio Montecon. Thomas Lietje here from Switzerland.
Well, Sam Gaze, the only man to beat Nino Schurter in 11 World Cup races. Such is the dominance of the Swiss rider.
This is the chasing group. Avancini leading.
Whistling through the trees.
Try to recover in these sections. They go fast.
Look at the pace. Unbelievable how quick these guys charge around this place. It's a bike race, all right, Bart. Look at it.
And imagine the first two are going even faster, but it's because they're still going away.
Incredible.
They brought it back with 4 seconds.
Does look like they've upped the ante a little bit. We're still not actually at the halfway point of this race. But a minute, could they bring that down? You never know.
You never
it's
know.
Unlikely with these two at the front.
It's true, but you never know. It's going to be a hard race. The conditions are very severe over here with the altitude, but also the dry weather, the temperature.
It's a harsh environment.
And these three can work together. Maybe Saru is not able to do it, but like Avancini and Van der Poel, definitely they do. They both know what it is to be on the podium. Numbers 3 and 4 from last week.
And numbers 1 and 2 from Friday short track as well.
Shifting gears, you can hear it immediately after that corner. It's Kerschbaumer again who is leading. Nino Schurter following him. Try to recover, because it's going to be a long race, a hard one.
It definitely is. Saru actually 15th in Friday's short track, so he's had to come through from the second row to join these two riders in front of him. Not too bad though, Bart, a second row start, I guess.
No, not at all. I mean, just one line in front of you, but sometimes it helps as well. If you are on the first line, yeah, you have to also make the race. Yeah. Some of the riders, they love to do it, but some of the riders, they try and following for a couple of laps and then settle into that race.
Let someone else set the pace for you.
It's true. Valero, 6th, like last week, 6th at the moment. And Luca Braido from Italy. Maxime Rod from Florian Vogel. Looks like they're coming back. Maxime Rod didn't have a good race last week, but now good again. Teammate from Avancini.
Luca Brado's brother, Daniel. Looks like he's dropped back then. See the wind out there, blowing everything around.
I think it's good for the riders. It cools down the temperature a little bit. Sink is coming too. The rider just behind Florian Vogel.
This is his best showing on a mountain bike since he went back from the road, isn't it?
He's a very strong climber. He loves this course.
Am I right in
his best result so far, yes.
And he took part, Sink, in the Tour de France, right? Is that correct?
He did, yeah. He was pretty strong in all the...
And finished it?
Yeah, mountain stages.
Incredible.
He didn't finish the Tour de France. He had a knee injury at the end, yeah, so he had to quit just a few days before the end.
Almost. Didn't get to go down the Champs-Élysées, though. That must have hurt, I would imagine, after all the mountain stages.
Yeah, especially if you are almost there.
So, halfway point of the race. 45 minutes has gone by as well. But Van der Poel looking good there. Third place at the moment.
Settle into this race. Kershbaum, what can he do after these two hard climbs before that long descent? Can he opening the gap again to Nina Schurter?
Kershbaumer's face never really gives us an indication of any pain, does it?
But it looks like Nino he's struggling. If you can see the expression on his face. Looks like these 5 riders are coming together too. Another chasing group. 1 minute 40. Sink, here he is. In the blue and black. Yeah, there he goes.
Again. He is just riding away from him there.
Yeah, he does again.
But we know that Schurter will probably just ride back to him on the descent.
Are we going to see this lap by lap?
So Kershbaumer has the fastest lap, not by a gap worth mentioning, really.
But it means more than just playing a game. What Nino is doing right now, he's not able to following him. But if he can stay like a 50 meters behind him, like he does right now, I think it's less. But he's still in vision and he can close the gap after that hard climb. He will do it for another time.
Do you think he lets that gap opening up, knowing that he can bring it back a little bit?
He knows how far.
I mean, I guess he would stay on his wheel if he could, and perhaps then he would make the advantage his on the downhill.
It's true, yeah.
It's going to be interesting in a few laps to go because
he might do that the last, maybe the last 2 laps.
Yeah, if
maybe he will wait until the last lap. Might be possible too.
That's right. If he's near Kershbaumer at the top of the descent, then the advantage could well be his by the time they get to the bottom of it. But that gap is real. Look at it.
We saw a similar battle with Langvaart and Jolanda Neff in Novo Mesto.
Yeah.
Where that long technical descent comes to the finish line. Over here, the riders, they are just at the bottom of that long climb, so there's still a few more climbs to go to the finish line, but Nino knows exactly what to do. He's not scared to that Kershbaumer went away a little bit of him. 5 seconds in previous lap on this point.
Going to be about the same again. Even less. No, I don't think Nino's too stressed just yet.
Not at all. No.
I remember Rune Heudel actually from back in the day was he one of the first cross-country riders that really could make big gaps on the downhills, because he came from downhill, didn't he?
Yeah, he came from downhill.
Kind of brought a new style of racing to cross-country at that time.
It's true. That's how he won the races.
Yeah, it was back in the day, wasn't it?
So if there's a difference in between the riders in technical skills like Nino has compared to Gerald Kerschbaumer, why not using these?
Exactly. You've got to take it any way you can in this game.
That's how it is. It's not only the climbing strength, but you need to have also the technical skills for going down the mountain really quick. And that's what Nino does at the moment.
And effortlessly, I guess, as well as a big part of it. If you can ride these downhills fast and, you know,
and
not expend too much energy, yeah exactly, then
try to recover.
It's a win-win situation, I guess.
Small gap in between Van der Poel and Avancini. Nino pushing a big gear on that steep mountain. Van der Poel is flying here in between the trees. The off-camber descent. Technical descent. Opening the gap to Avancini.
Wow. I wonder if he can bridge the gap. It's going to be a tall order.
A 1 minute gap. It's a big one.
It is a big one, huh?
He finished third last week. Val du Sol, actually, positions right now are almost the same. Avancini fourth.
He's going here, Bart, on this climb, you know. Definitely
halfway course.
I wouldn't say attacking, but he's carrying good pace up here this time, up out of the saddle. He's not going to want those two to come back to him, Van der Poel.
In cyclocross, he's able to push it really hard for like a lap, opening the gap and then stay how it is to be with after that.
He hasn't finished lower than fourth in any cross-country World Cup this year, except, of course, Novia Mesta, where he did crash out, re-damaging that wrist that he'd had surgery on, what, like 5 days before or something?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was incredible.
It's incredible that he could rode that race actually on.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
With a broken wrist. Skavoit.
Avancini looking quite composed there.
Yeah, but what can he do? He has to go with Van der Poel.
He does, that's right. If you want any chance of this one today, you've got to go with Van der Poel. Even for him, it's going to be a tall order to catch those two out front.
Singh, watch at him. Andre Singh is on his move. He's on the 6th position right now. Past Valero, past Florian Vogel, Maxime Murat. He's on a mission. Can he reach it? Can he reach the podium? We have to find out how big that gap is in between these riders and the top 5, the podium.
And actually Andre Singh, second here in 2013. Second here in 2016. That bronze medal, as I said, at the World Championships. So he is a man who loves to be high in the mountains. The thin air doesn't seem to bother the rider from the Czech Republic. Definitely pushing forwards now, Singh. And he would have come from a fair way back on the start, wouldn't he, today, Andre Singh?
Which place did he? Yeah, 56 something.
So 4 or 5 rows back then.
But also his teammate, Coloma. He has a good race so far.
The leading duo back together again.
Kerschbaumer leading. Not that much in between these two. Kerschbaumer definitely the strongest in the climbs. Nino definitely the strongest in the descents.
Kerschbaumer's going to have to be careful, Bart, when they come around to that first climb. He needs, it looks like to me, he needs that advantage before they go into that long downhill.
Yeah, if it comes to a sprint again like last week, of course, this is a different situation, a different sprint as well.
I don't think anyone's going to be up for a sprint today after this and the fact that the finish line is uphill.
Yeah, slightly uphill.
Quite uphill, I would say. I think we might have different takes on what pedaling a bike uphill is. You know what I mean? Let's just leave that one there, but to me it was a fiercely steep climb.
That bridge in front of that finish line, that's a steep one.
Yeah.
And actually the finish line is immediately after the bridge. So yeah.
Just to kill the legs before the sprint would even start, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But also the positioning in this race, it's really important if it comes to a sprint. And Nino, he is good in that. He's the most experienced rider. But we have to find out the next couple of laps if it comes to that. I don't think so. Kersbaumer is very strong in the climbs.
Van der Poel has come back by 10 seconds now towards Schurter and Kirschbaumer. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Because you said, he told you he would go steady at the start of this race.
Yeah.
Maybe he's feeling good now and starting to open up. Sam Gay's back to 17th now. So still inside the top 20, the New Zealander who won the opening round of this year's World Cup.
Luca Braido on 6th.
Things are hotting up here in Andorra. Round 5, the Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross Country World Cup. And Kirschbaumer says, go on, Nino. You take the win for a little bit.
Nino doesn't look good to me.
Doesn't he?
I mean, his body language tells me different at the moment. I mean, he's fast in the descents and he's fighting really hard, but looks like Kirschbaumer is so much fresher.
Does he? Okay.
I might be wrong.
You're not often wrong, Bart. I'll give you that.
But this is racing.
You never know what's going to happen.
What these guys feeling, but it looks like that.
Yeah. I can't imagine any of them feel particularly good up here anyway.
No, but the Kirschbaumer looks really strong to me. Mathieu van der Poel. Is he able to close that gap, a 1 minute gap?
He's charging now, you know.
Avancini fourth, the Brazilian rider. He brought a lot of fans with him to this race.
And the gap opening back from Avancini now to Saru as well in 5th place. Still a great ride if he can get there. That'll be the last step of the podium.
Or is Andre Singh able to reach that podium here in Andorra for the first time this year? So far, Luca Braido, he's on 6th. So far, it's difficult for him. Kirschbaumer, what can he do?
Just 3 laps to go now.
Does he opening the gap between him and Nino again on these two steep climbs?
Well, you'll have to stay with us to find out. We'll be right back with the closing laps from here in Andorra right after this break.
Grab life by the handlebars. Red Bull TV presents a rapid channel dedicated to bike sports. Available anywhere, at any time. Go for a spin and explore urban playgrounds on a BMX.
Progression is definitely what makes me go ride every day.
Follow daredevils who push their pedals to the metals in competitive live events.
Here comes Shatter!
Or take on terrains no wheel has ever touched before.
We truly won't know until we step out of our comfort zones and off this continent.
Powered by pedals and passion. The Bike Channel on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back to Vallnord, Andorra, live with round 5 of the Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross Country World Cup. Gerhard Kirschbaumer and Nino Schurter lead. Van der Poel actually is looking like the fastest man on track at the moment, though. He's took another 2 seconds out of them between that last split and crossing the line. So keep an eye on him as well. Andre Singh is also charging a little further back.
But there are a few things, a few interesting things which are going on here in this race. Gerard Kerschbaumer, of course, he's a very strong climber today. You know, he's the fastest descender probably of these two. But what you said, André Sink, he might reach the podium in today's race, 6th or 7th position at the moment.
He's an altitude specialist looking at his past results here.
And also Van der Poel, he's on his way for another podium finish. Kerschbaumer, there he is. And again a gap in between him and Nino Schurter.
Wow.
How big is it at the moment?
I don't think Nino would let that gap open up if he didn't have to, do you?
But it looks like each lap again it's getting bigger.
It's really hard to see, actually.
5 seconds on that next split time. 4 seconds actually the previous lap.
That's right.
It's all the time around 5.
Kerschbaumer must be aware of this, that he's doing this damage. He must know where Nino is strong and know where he is strong.
But he has to take a bit more risks in that descent, I think. He has to go a bit faster in that descent.
And I think he's going to need to go harder on the climb as well to give him that cushion, if he's got anything left, of course. But he does look good. He's a hard man to read, though, isn't he?
Yeah, we haven't seen that many riders who could do it like he did right now against Nino so far this season.
That's right. So far in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons.
Fascinating race here in the Pyrenees.
How big is the gap between the leader and Nino Schurter, the 2nd place of him?
And the Poel still circulating with intent. Well, it was 4 seconds last lap. Now this lap it is bigger.
It's bigger, but
it's much bigger.
But from here on still that descent goes down much further.
10 seconds though, Bart. 11 actually. Is that tallying? He's pulled another 7 seconds out of him on that part than he did the lap before. Is that tallying? Is that giving us a clue of Nino's shape?
It's definitely a sign, and it's a sign of his shape. But I mean, still he's able to close that gap, what I think, in this part of the course, in this descent. Because he's so much faster all the time.
But it instantly goes uphill again.
So, yeah.
Kerschbaumer looks to be the climb strongest on these climbs. It's not that big a gap. You could just see Nino in the back is shot. Is Kerschbaumer going to go now? This is the first time, isn't it, that he's got to the bottom of this climb?
He has to go now.
He has to go now.
If he wants to win the race, he has to go now. This is the moment. There he is.
Oh, my word. How did Nino pull up that amount of time there? That's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. But now he's struggling, and Kerschbaumer knows. This is the moment.
Or is he going to wait another lap?
No.
You don't think he will?
No. Now he's pushing hard. Nino has to close the gap to save energy. If he's coming back on the wheel, they will slow down a little bit. That's the moment to save some energy, but I don't think he's able to do it. It doesn't look like that to me.
The Olympic champion. Giving it everything he's got. He does every weekend, but usually he's at the front.
Now it's different.
It is different to what we've seen, really, in a long time.
Van der Poel, the 3rd place on his own. 1 minute behind the leaders.
He's having a strong season, Bart, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's a strong rider. Oh, he has a tree in his rear really, actually.
Didn't seem to affect anything, no. That was lucky. Really, this is his 2nd World Cup season, isn't it? Only, so incredible to see what he's doing so far. Raced 39 cyclocross races in the winter, won 32 of them.
Yeah. Except the World Championships he didn't win.
Which was a big blow, right?
Yeah.
He went in there really as the odds-on favourite, didn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Of course he did.
Was,
yeah. 32 or 37 races.
But all the other ones he won. It's impressive. Almost all these other races he did.
So there he is. Kerschbaumer leads.
He has a fair lead, I would say.
Staring at his 1st World Cup win.
Yes, Nino Schurter, 2nd place. How much is in between these two? Not that much. I think it's enough. It's a sign.
Look how hard Van der Poel in 3rd place is going on this climb. Look. Remember, at 2,000 metres up here as well. They are phenomenal athletes, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very good prepared for this race. Andre Sink here with Coloma.
And they're going to get onto the back wheel and go past. It looks like Florian Vogel here. Look at Sink go, the best we've seen of him since he returned from the road. He's on to Vogel, you know. 8th place then, Andre Sink.
Carlos Coloma from Spain, 9th position right now. The bronze medalist of Rio. Kerschbaumer, he's leading this race after that 2nd place from last weekend in Italy. But he will go even faster, I think, when he knows that he's going away from Nino Schurter.
Must be quite a feeling that.
Not that many riders had it the last couple of years.
No, they really haven't.
But he's still fighting hard, Nino Schurter, here he is.
But Schurter hasn't had the success he's had, has he, without being a fighter? I mean, he's an absolute competitive machine. I mean, this must be hurting him mentally to see someone ride away from him like this.
It is.
It can't sit well with him. Can he respond is the question.
But the good thing of him is he keeps on fighting. I mean, there's 2 more laps to go. And he knows as well, this is a young rider. He might blow up. And he keeps on going, Nino Schurter. So, he's the most experienced rider.
5 times a World Cup Series overall winner, Nino Schurter. The winner of 29 World Cups. Van der Poel flies in a shot. So he's dropped the 2 riders that were with him. Haven't seen in Saru, unable to go with the Dutchman. Great to see so much encouragement for these riders all the way around this track here in the La Massana bike park.
Yeah, there are a lot of spectators here. Great atmosphere around the course. And riders, they love that. Especially the Spanish riders, the French riders, they will have a lot of fans here. Nino, 2nd place. Kerschbaumer, he's not so far in front of him. But we haven't seen it that much, that it's like this.
No, I can't remember actually when I've seen the last time I saw someone ride away.
It's true.
From Nino, really? I mean, no, I haven't. Can't remember.
Avancini together with Saru. Here he is. The leader of the race, Gerard Kerschbaum, national champion of Italy. Stretch his legs, try to recover.
The next time they go into the climb, it might be telling. He may build up an unassailable lead, you know. Still not into sight.
I think we will see Van der Poel right now. Here he is. 3rd place for him.
Around that hairpin. It would have been a 7-lap race, actually, but the decision to make it to 8 only taken this morning, I believe.
Yeah, it's because of the women under 23. They did pretty fast on this course this morning. An indication that it could be really fast for the men Elite 2, so that's why they decide to add another lap to this race.
Through the feed zone.
And if it comes to a 1 hour 30 minutes race, that's exactly how it has to be. And it looks like more like that. 2 more laps to go. We have to find out how big the gap is between him and Nino Schurter. This part suits Kerschbaumer really well. 2 main climbs coming up for him. Is Nino able to close that gap one more time? Looks like difficult for him. 18 seconds. 2 more laps.
There's the gap. Schurter can still see him.
Out of the saddle, pushing hard.
He has to get back on terms in this race. Now, really, Bart. Right now. He needs to be with him. Really at the bottom of the wall before they go up again.
It is. He's the fastest descender. He's able to close the gap in a few seconds. Might be like 10 seconds. He's faster in that descent, but like 20 seconds, what it is right now, more like that. It's difficult for him too. Jordan Sarrou. Fourth at the moment. Avancini. Fifth at the moment. Avancini, he's on 4. Van der Poel, 3rd position. Same like last week, where he finished 3rd. It's getting bigger. Kerschbaumer is on a mission. He's pushing hard.
2 to go then.
A minute in between Schurter and Van der Poel. A minute and 4 seconds.
Van der Poel is a competitive man, isn't he, Bart?
He is, yeah. Definitely is.
He must love racing bikes because out of everyone here, I guess he does more of it, a lot more of it than anyone else in the field.
He became national champion on the road in Holland.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And even after that 3rd place from last week, he didn't smile that much on the podium, which normally people do.
Yeah, no, he wants to win. He wants to win a cross-country World Cup. I believe he won that Dutch road race. Didn't he go away on his own as well or something?
He was in the breakaway with a couple of other riders. He did most of the work. They got catch back by the peloton and he won that sprint. Small, like a slightly uphill sprint. So it's impressive. Especially if you know where like these people are winning stage races in the Tour de France at the moment.
What a talent he is.
Avancini with Sarrou almost at the top of this climb. Look at Braido. Look, yeah, he's not that far behind these two. Avancini has a lot of confidence from last week, from that win from last Friday in a short track race.
As does this man after his result last weekend in the cross-country race.
That's how it is, yeah. And that was already a sign that the youngsters are coming. He's one of these. A strong Italian rider.
Certainly seeing it in the downhill World Cups at the moment, the next generation. Really, you know, rustling the feathers of the establishment, as it were. And it is definitely happening here as well.
So there's a little bit of time for Gerard Kerschbaumer over here to relax. This long descent, but he knows as well Nino is so much faster over here, so he has to push it. Nino here, 2nd place. How big is the gap in between him and Gerard Kerschbaumer? This part of the course suits him really well. He might be able to close it with a few seconds. But it's more than a few seconds at the moment.
It really is, yeah. The average age still quite, I would say quite old actually in men's cross country. Do you know what the average age of the top 10 in Val di Sole last week was? Not that you would know, I've really dropped this on you. I only know because I've got it written down in front of me.
I think Florian Vogel, he's one of the oldest. A few young riders with, let's say 26, more like that.
29 and a half actually.
Okay.
Yes, I was a little surprised as well.
I'm surprised about that. Almost 30 seconds.
Wow.
That's a sign.
He's pulled another 9 seconds out of Schurter. Incredible riding from Kerschbaumer, the Italian out front. Van der Poel in 3rd place then.
But a good ride of him as well.
And, you know, one thing you can't see is that the air is way thinner up here. To watch these riders go this hard is incredible.
Yeah, riders that try to recover at all the small little descents where they are.
Grab it wherever you can, eh?
And it's getting harder to the end of the race.
Van der Poel looks pretty safe there in 3rd, but that's a good gap behind him as well.
Avancini, he's on 4th position together with Sarrou. The numbers 4 and 5 in the race. It looks like Sarrou is on 4 here. It's Avancini on 5. And they are under pressure as well from that chasing group, with Vogel, Sink.
Yeah. I think Sink will be hungry to get back on the World Cup podium.
Yep, for sure. This is a course which suits him really well. I think the altitude suits him really well.
He's got a lot of work to do though, nearly a minute back actually on these two, so I'll be surprised if even Andre Sink can pull that kind of time back. Van der Poel, minute and 6 seconds behind Schurter.
More like the same, between Van der Poel and Nino Schurter.
Kirschbaumer, has he done enough?
Stretching his legs.
Looking quite relaxed on that descent.
It is. Yeah. All the time, he looks really relaxed to me, the whole race actually already.
Yeah. He's got a really nice style on the bike.
We saw that with Gunrita Dahl in the women's category. Also a very relaxed style the whole race. Of course, it costs them a lot of energy too.
As I look up the hill. And it's a big gap this man has forged. Back to Nino Schurter today.
He's pushing harder. Try to close that gap.
Kirschbaumer climbing in the back. Schurter coming towards us.
If they cross the finish line, there's only one lap to go.
Yeah, that's right. What, around a lap and a half now? Less even, I guess.
Yeah, even less, yeah. The hardest part of the lap they have done. This is part of that too, this climb, the wall. Saru now in front of Avancini.
It's been a grueling battle for those two, Bart. They're all race long.
Van der Poel, he's a bit in front of these two. Florian Vogel, but I think Braido, he's not in between Saru and Avancini and Florian Vogel. I think this is the 7th place, I'm not sure. Sink behind Florian Vogel.
Yep.
And Carlos Coloma, his teammate of Sink. Of course, Spanish team. Home race. Home solo race. And see how rocky it is. There's only one line which is good rideable for these riders.
7th, 8th and 9th then they are. What will the riders do directly after this race? Start to try and recover from this one.
Yeah, it's a hard run.
It looks brutal.
It is, yeah. I knew many riders, they like to sit down in an ice bath or like a river over here. The water in the rivers are pretty cold. So
yeah.
To cool down, to recover. But they are really happy when the race is done.
Yeah. Vogel moves over.
But the taste of a victory, it's so big.
Luca Bruno in 6th then, that man there. Centro Sportivo Carbonari, the team. Italy is scoring well in the Pyrenees, 2 in the top 6.
We saw that last week too.
Yeah.
Italian were very strong. And of course, if you have 2 races week by week, you will be strong in both weekends. But this guy, Gerard Kerschbaumer, for the first time in his career, leading a World Cup. At least with a big gap to the 2nd place, leading a World Cup.
He's ridden faultlessly. You could say he did last week, really. It wasn't his result at the end, but it was...
Yeah, Nino, he had a weapon left, that sprint.
Yeah.
The experience. But Kerschbaumer, he had the fastest lap times all the time. Of course, Nino had a huge attack in that 2nd lap, where we're opening the gap at 25 seconds. But this race comes to this man so far.
30 seconds back to this man. Been a long time, long time since anyone has ridden away from Nino Schurter, that's for sure. 6 times the elite world champion, this man. 2nd in the all-time World Cup wins list, behind
Maja
Julian
Sosowska. She's watching the men elite race.
Look at the wind picking up out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of wind. Van der Poel, on third position right now. A minute behind Nino Schurter. 1 minute 30 seconds around of that first place of Gerhard Kerschbaumer. But a strong ride of him.
Plenty of support for him. How big a name is he in Holland, Bart?
In cycling, it's huge. He also, because of his father, I think, he already was a strong and a famous cyclist too.
As was his granddad.
His granddad too. So there's a lot of history in his family in cycling. And Mathieu van der Poel is continuing in that. Last lap for Gerhard Kerschbaumer.
One more to go then here in Vallnord. Can Kerschbaumer hang on? He's actually got a very healthy gap now. It was around 30 seconds. We'll see when Nino Schurter crosses the line. But this is the strong part of the lap for Kerschbaumer. This is where he does the damage on the climbs.
We have to see how big it is, that gap.
If Schurter's got anything left in the tank, he's going to have to go now.
Here he is.
The gap's got bigger. The gap has got bigger.
Stretching his fingers.
I mean, in the overall standings, there's no pressure on Schurter from this. He's going to leave here.
Yeah, not at all, no.
Extended his lead in the overall World Cup, that's for sure.
He still does, yeah.
But he is a man who makes a habit of winning everything he enters.
But definitely Kerschbaumer is earning a lot of points this weekend.
Yes, as he did last weekend.
Yep.
Down goes Kerschbaumer, up goes Schurter. Still fighting, Nino.
Yeah, still fighting. But there's also what he has to do. I mean, Van der Poel on third. He's pushing hard too. One more lap to go. The gaps are getting bigger in between the riders. The riders know exactly where everybody is.
It's really torn them apart, this one.
It stays a minute in between Schurter and Van der Poel. But Kerschbaumer went away.
It was great to see Gunnar Idala take a 30th World Cup win in the women.
Impressive.
Maybe we're not going to see this man do the same today.
No, but he is also having a lot of wins already behind his name. He's coming closely to Gunnar.
You know, Bart, what can you say about it? It's still a phenomenal performance.
It is.
Coming second.
Yeah, it's
but
almost the same.
You know, we all fall in a trap of expecting Nino to win. I mean, that's how it is then usually.
I predicted him to win this race again, but you know, the youngsters are coming. That's what we already told everybody a long time ago. But Nino, he could hold them back most of the time. But right now, it's going to be a different story.
This man has absolutely dominated this race. Really, from a few laps ago, especially when he finally broke away from Nino. And he still looks in great shape here, despite nearly 8 laps of this brutal track at 2,000 meters altitude.
Probably the hardest race of the whole circuit.
And that's saying something, isn't it?
Yeah, we will see the expressions on the riders' faces after the finish.
Very much back to sea level at the next race in Mont-Saint-Anne.
It is sea level over there. With the sea in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. It's lovely, yeah.
Different course in Mont-Saint-Anne. Probably the most technical course. Most of the time slippery conditions as well into the forest.
So here we go on this long climb then.
Numbers 4 and 5 in the race.
Saru and Avancini. Saru in the orange, Avancini all in green and black, pushing hard to stay with him.
Can Avancini have another 4th place like last week? At least he's in for a podium. And he had that win already last Friday in the short track.
He's going to take away a lot of points from this weekend. Along that tricky camber for the last time comes Kirschbaumer. He can afford to take his time a little bit this lap. Picking his way down through the rocks. Risk a flat tyre anyway at this point, Bart.
Yeah, risky. Yeah, it is. There are a lot of rocks. The speed is high, so that's why he has to take a bit more carefully. And that looks like what he did. One more time, this brutal climb, I would say, out of the saddle. It relaxed the legs a little bit, but it hurt them in the same time.
I can't believe I'm watching him go up here this fast after, you know, what he's been through this afternoon. Look at that. He doesn't look any different to me than he did on lap 1.
No. he smells the days of the victory.
That'll motivate anyone, huh?
Yeah, then you don't feel anything. Nino, 2nd place. Like a 40 seconds behind this man. No bottle anymore for him.
Just got to make it to the finish line.
He knows. He's almost there.
This will be the biggest win of this man's career. Twice an under-23 world champion, but I don't think that'll even compare to beating Nino.
Oh, that's how it is, yeah. And if you can beat Nino, it means you will win the World Cup. Nino, 2nd place.
Last time on this long climb. He'll be back in Monsanto, and that's another track that Nino Schurter loves and goes well at Bart, especially
that's what I think
with it
too,
being
yeah.
so technical.
It is.
But
a lot of climbing too over there.
Yeah.
Like
there is 2 or 3 big climbs.
Yeah, it is.
The track's going to be quite heavily modified this year as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Mathieu van der Poel, 3rd position, and what a race he showed us as well today.
Yeah, he's had a great season in mountain. He had a great season in cyclocross, following it up with a great season in mountain biking.
2nd last Friday, 3rd last week in the cross-country race.
Absolutely amazing. Not outside the top 4 this year. Not off the podium when he's finished. The elbow, the wrist injury taking him out in Novia Mesto. How long do you think Van der Poel's going to put up with this year-long training and racing, Bart? Cyclocross will start, I guess, pretty soon after the mountain bike season ends.
Yeah, but after World Championships in Landsrijden later on this year, the cyclocross season starts, I think, in about 2 weeks' time.
No.
Yeah, I think in the US. So
wow. Does he go to the US to race? Does he?
I think so. Yeah. So he has to take it easily during the season, a break somewhere. But he had a break after Stellenbosch earlier this year. But he loves to ride his bike. He loves to play around with his bike. He loves to ride his mountain bike. So as long as it is like that,
why not?
Yeah, why not? But yeah, he has to take care about his body.
Yes, he must do. I mean,
yeah, the Olympic Games 2020, definitely that's his main goal. I think afterwards he will more focusing on one discipline. Nino Schurter, 2nd place.
Well, the first cyclocross is the 17th of September. I think that's the weekend.
That's the week after. If you have the 8th and 9th of September, the World Championships in Switzerland.
Oh, word.
So the week after.
Goodness gracious me.
I think he will be in a good shape in the beginning of the season, but he needs to take his rest.
Yeah, at some point you have to. You have to let the body recover.
It's really important, also for Mathieu van der Poel. 1.5 hour mark almost. Kirschbaumer.
Commissaires were right to add that extra lap. aiming for that target of an hour and a half. This has been an incredible performance by this Italian rider today, the 27-year-old. We saw an amazing race from him last weekend. Came all the way from the back to catch Nino Schurter in Val di Sole in Italy. Lost out really in a sprint finish just before they dropped down to that finish line. But he has come here to our Andorra, guns blazing, full of confidence and full of form.
Yeah, in a great shape, probably the best shape of his life. Avancini.
So Avancini going away from Saru. That's the battle for 4th place.
Where we did the same in a short track race of Friday, same part of the course. He knows this part pretty well. It's a bit further to the finish line compared to that race from Friday. 4th at the moment.
Avancini is a rider though, Bart, that is just getting better and better.
He is.
The Brazilian. Didn't see so much of him in the World Cup races before 2017, before last year. And now here he is, rapidly becoming a bit of a podium regular.
Yeah, like he did last week, winning that short track on Friday. Yes, he is.
Sixth in Novia Mesto earlier in the year as well. And an absolute hero back home in Brazil.
The best rider of the Cannondale team, with Maximo Rod, Manuel Fumik as his teammates.
So Kirsch Bama looking like he's going to do it. It'll be a massive win to put one over Nino Schurter, the Olympic, the world champion.
Yeah, it has been a long time that we have seen Nino has been beaten by somebody on the way how Gerard Kersbaumer did it today.
He really did put the hurt on him, didn't he, on that long climb?
He did, lap by lap.
He did, and he didn't let the pressure get to him, of Schurter coming back to him. He must have an incredible self-belief, self-confidence, Bart.
It must be, yeah. He knew his strength.
So, Gerhard Kerschbaumer is going to crest that bridge then. It's been an unbelievable ride from the Italian. 13 years ago was the last time an Italian rider won a cross-country World Cup. Kerschbaumer is king of the Pyrenees. He's done it. What a ride for him.
What a ride he showed us today.
Marco Boy, the last Italian racer to win a World Cup race, but a name you probably remember.
Yeah, Marco Boy. Yeah, I remember him. He had a scooter accident actually shortly after his, during his career, so he had to quit his career.
Did he?
Yeah, he didn't recover of that. Yeah, Marco Boy.
It's been a tough one for the Scot rider, no question. But still, what a ride. Going to extend his lead in the overall World Cup standings with this.
It has been a hard day for Nino.
A month now, Bart, to go back to the drawing board and get ready for Andorra, for Mont-Saint-Anne.
Yeah, there's a bit of time. I don't know if he's doing the European Championships that weekend or that Tuesday before Mont-Saint-Anne. Probably not.
Gritting his teeth coming up to the line.
Anyway, a great race of him.
Yeah.
A great performance. Second place.
You can't win them all, but you can win most of them, and that's exactly what Nino Schurter does. What a hard
place. Yeah, hard day.
Hard day in the office for them.
Mathieu van der Poel. He settled into that race today. What a great performance he showed us, especially with the experience he had from the last few years over here. Did it a bit different today. With the same result as last week. Finishing third.
Another great ride for the Dutchman. Going to hold on to that number 2 plate as we head across the Atlantic. Impressive Bart really for him, you know, up here at altitude, less experience of that. Second straight podium for Henrik Avancini. The Brazilian firing on all cylinders in 2018.
He fought really hard for it, Avancini.
He did, he is a fighter. Jordan Saru. Got the strength for a wheelie across the line. 5th place for that man today.
First French rider. Another Italian rider, Luca Braido.
2 in the top 6 today, that's great. Florian Vogel. Another good ride for him as well, Bart.
Finished 5th last week, 7th today. Great ride.
A big cheer for this man.
Coloma
comes up to cross the line. I don't think he had the strength for a wheelie.
The first Spanish rider, Carlos Coloma. And here is Sink from the Czech Republic. 9th place for him. Here another Spanish rider, Valero. And another Spanish rider, Sergio Montecon, is coming into the finish line.
Vogel's going to be especially happy with that 7th place. That's what he needed to qualify for the World's team, for the Swiss Federation.
So the Spanish rider did pretty well today.
Yeah.
3 riders in the top 11. Thomas Licher of Switzerland.
He can't even put his hands on the bars. He can't even... Can he even ride straight to the line? What's going on there? Is he that exhausted? Yes,
Yeah,
he is.
he's very
Oh my
exhausted.
goodness. Well, let's get someone to him quick. Wow. That's how hard it is up here in Andorra at this altitude. Someone get him some oxygen.
Medicals for him. That's what he needs. Gerard Kerschbaumer, what a race he showed us today. We knew from last week he was in a good shape, a great shape. Italian rider, the national champion from Italy. He won that race today here in Andorra. And the way how he beat Nino Schurter, unbelievable. He was the strongest in the climbs. Maybe he lost a little bit in the descents, but so good.
Well, Rick's got him. Down to you, Rick.
Gerhard, your first ever UCI World Cup win. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. 1 week ago I was 2nd behind Nino, and today it was amazing. First place, I don't know, without words.
Did the altitude help you today?
Yeah, the altitude, I like it a lot. I was maybe 2 months at my home in the altitude, and it works.
What do you think the difference between you and Nino was today? Was it the climbing?
I think in the climbing. In the downhill, Nino was stronger than me, but in the long climb, in the long climbs, I think I was a little bit better, and I attacks there, and it's amazing.
Gerhard, thank you very much. Well done today.
Thank you, thank you.
It's a day this man won't forget. Incredible.
Not too many emotions actually to winning a World Cup and beating Nino Schurter, but anyway.
Maybe he hasn't got the
his
strength
style.
for it, yeah.
Maybe. Impressive.
What can he do for the rest of the year now?
Yeah, definitely he's in for another one.
Sink, 9th place for the rider from the Czech Republic in the end.
2 Spanish riders in the top 10. Coloma and Valero. Another Spanish rider, Sergio Montecon, 11th place.
Andre Frischnet, son of former world champion Thomas there in 15th place. Matthias Flukiger, 16th for him. Sam Gaze hanging on to a top 20 ride there. Howard Grotz as well from the United States there inside the top 20.
So the top 3 of today. Mathieu van der Poel, the same like last week in Val di Sol here in Andorra. 3rd place. He settled into the race. and he finished very strong. Didn't do much work in the beginning. Nino Schurter, he came back several laps to the winner of today's race, Gerhard Kerschbaumer. He was the fastest in the descent. He knew the conditions are very hard on altitude, but Gerhard Kerschbaumer, the winner of today's race, impressive how strong he was in the climbs, especially in the climbs. He knew Nino was a bit faster than him in the descent, but he won that race with these long, steep climbs here in Andorra.
So there's Mathieu with his helmet off. Yeah, quite rare. Not the last name called out. But winning his first ever cross-country World Cup, Italy's Gerhard Kerschbaumer. Well, stay with us, everyone. Me and Bart will be back to wrap things up in the Mercedes-Benz race review right after this.
Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now. Every revolution begins with a spark. Brandon Semenuk teams up with director Rupert Walker for the next level of mountain bike filmmaking. Revel in the chaos. Now available on Red Bull TV. They are young, fast, and the best rookies in the world. 7 speedways, 25 young stars, 1 champion. The thrilling two-wheel spectacle is back for another season.
I have to win because I want to be in Red Bull Rookies Cup champion.
Watch the Red Bull Rookies Cup 2018 live this weekend on Red Bull TV.
Meu torneio de futebol 5 contra 5, Neymar Juniors 5, está de volta. Jogadores com mais de 60 países estão competindo pelo título mundial. As regras simples. Cada partida de 10 minutos. Não tem goleiro. Cada equipe que faz um gol, o adversário perde um jogador. Espero vê-los no Brasil, no meu instituto Neymar Júnior. E boa sorte para a final de 2018.
Watch Red Bull Neymar Juniors 5 World Final live from Brazil, July 21st, 3 p.m. on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back live to Andorra for the Mercedes-Benz race review, where we've just seen Gerhard Kerschbaumer take his first ever World Cup win. But I heard him say in the interview, you know, he spent 2 months altitude. Is preparation the key for a race up here at this height?
Yeah, but not only for here, to perform well on altitude. Also, last week he performed really well. But to live on altitude, train on altitude, that preparation, that's what the riders have to do to perform well over here. And I think he did the best. 2 months, it's a long time, but it helps him a lot.
And today, I guess, was different because usually we see Nino Schurter putting the heart on everyone. but it was she was on the other foot. It was Kirschbaumer going away from Nino on the climbs. Of course, Nino quicker on the descents, but you said early on in the race that you didn't like the way Nino looked.
Yeah, sometimes you can read the body language of a rider, and if you know the riders pretty well, and what we do, we see them riding every week. Kirschbaumer, he was pushing hard on these climbs, and he's a good climber, and he did a well preparation for this altitude. And Nino, he was suffering already from the beginning. We know he has the skills to ride the descents really quick, and that's what he did. He came back several times in that long technical descents. He could close the gap with 10 seconds lap by lap, but when it opens more than 10, Kirschbaumer was the man to beat.
Kirschbaumer, unbelievably, ground Nino's shirt down. Nino is with Rick.
Nino, just how tough did Gerhard make it out there today for you?
Yeah, it was a super tough one. I really felt the altitude. I couldn't really go over my limits, and Gary was super strong in the climbs. And mid through, I had the feeling I have to take a bit out. If not, it's going to explode. And still happy with my second, and big congrats to Gary.
We go to Mont Saint-Anne next, but we have a bit of a break. What are you going to do to prepare for that race?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this one. I haven't done any altitude training this year, so I wasn't 100% prepared for this one. I hope Mont Saint-Anne I'm again in top shape and I can battle again for the win.
Nino, well done today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
But listen to that. Sounds like to me it might be a very different story in Mont Saint-Anne. Well, there are the World Cup standings then. Schurter very happy with second place today, as he should be. He's put a few more points into Mathieu van der Poel, now 325 ahead.
Avancini now in third place after that win from Friday, and that fourth place again in today's show cross-country race. So Avancini is going for the podium.
Amazing. Yeah, look at that, riding himself right into it. Well, that is the end of the mountain biking this weekend here on Red Bull TV. Plenty of other things coming up, though. We've got Nima Junior 5. It's on next weekend. It's the one of the planet's biggest football stars hosts a fun and technical five-a-side tournament in his home country of Brazil. I wonder if Henrique Avancini's going to be going. You don't want to miss out on this one. Of course, there's a bit of a football game on tonight, Bart, as well.
I think so, yeah. It's worth to watch that one.
Yeah, I'll have a watch of it as well.
Yeah.
And of course, a month's time, we bring you a classic, really, on the World Cup circuit these days. Been going there since the early 1990s. It's Mont Saint-Anne. It's another double header. We've got the downhill on the Saturday and the cross-country races on the Sunday. And believe us when we tell you that it is, both tracks are absolutely phenomenal. Of course, short track on the Friday, even before that, which will be live on Red Bull TV as well.
But it's a classic race over there in Mont Saint-Anne. What Nino already said, he loves their scores over there, and probably with a small break from now on till then, he will be in a good shape again. And
definitely one we always look forward to, Bart. We've got a month to put our feet up. You won't be, I know.
Yeah, it's a classic race, and I love to be in Mont Saint-Anne all the time.
Me as well. But again, incredible. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, everyone at home. We hope you've enjoyed this whole weekend here from Andorra. It's been awesome, and we will see you all in Mont Saint-Anne.
See you.